and welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and today we're going to make a carrot cilantro mint soup. And what we'll do to start is get the carrots prepped. So what I do with my carrots, because vegetables keep their nutrients close to the skin, I don't peel my carrots. But a nice way to get rid of the dirt and any of the little bit of bitterness that's sometimes in the skin of a carrot is I take my potato scrubber and just scrub the outside of the carrot. Give the carrot a nice little buff. It's like a massage. Okay. And then when you do this, there's going to be a bit of whatever you're scrubbing off left on the carrot, so just give it a quick little rinse and you are set to go. If there are any severe wounds on your carrots, all you need to do is just take a knife and thinly slice that off. Okay, so set your carrots aside for now, and we're going to get an onion sauteing in a soup pot, and I've got my biggest soup pot here because the next size down I broke the lid. And a lid is very important when you're making soup because you don't want all of the liquid to evaporate on you. So get an onion, dice it up. Now don't worry too much about the size of your onions because we're going to be pureeing this soup. Now, while you get your pot heating up, you can also scrub the potatoes. Same thing. I don't peel them because the nutrients are near the skin. Give them a scrub and they will be just fine. Once your pot heats up, you'll saute your onion in just a little bit of olive oil. They don't need much, especially once the pot has heated up. You'll find that you use less oil. Now, once the onions are softened, you'll add your carrots, which should be just roughly chopped. Again, we're pureeing this soup, so it doesn't matter really what size they are. Stir them around with the onions, and then you want to wait until the carrots show just a little bit of moisture coming out of them. Then you'll add the potatoes next. So while the carrots are cooking, you can chop up your potato. So when your carrots are coming into the game already wet, it's a little bit hard to tell when they have released some moisture. So what I actually normally go by is when I smell the smell of the vegetable coming up from the pot. So when you start to smell carrots taking over from the onion, then you know it's time to add the next vegetable, which is going to be potatoes. Now potatoes we're adding for a little bit of creamy texture. Again, they need to be stirred in and just allowed to soften slightly before we move on. Potatoes bring potassium, which is important for the sodium balance of your body. Too much sodium is a problem. But really what the problem is when you have more sodium than potassium, and fresh fruits and vegetables are the best source of potassium. So this is why when people are eating processed foods, which are high in salt, and not a lot of fresh fruits and veggies, they have issues with sodium balance because they're getting more sodium than potassium. And you need a lot more potassium than you do sodium. You need very little sodium. I'm actually kind of glad now that I used the big pot. Things are filling up pretty nicely over here. Okay, so once the potatoes have softened a little bit, you're going to add spices, which in this case we're adding some ground coriander. And the best way to get flavor out of your coriander is to toast it. And the best way to toast it is to use the whole seeds, toast them, and then grind them in a coffee grinder. I usually do that in my toaster oven, which makes it much more efficient. I wouldn't recommend doing it in an oven for just a few seeds, but you could do it ahead of time with a bunch of them, if you like. Definitely takes the flavor up a notch. One big notch. All right, salt to assist in the cooking process. And if you are concerned about sodium, there are salt alternatives. You can also put dried kelp in your salt shaker to reduce the amount of actual salt that you're putting in here, and bring in some kelp into your diet. Okay. Get those spices stirred around, and then we'll add water. You can add vegetable stock if you like. I'm fine with water. I'm gonna add 4 cups, and then what you'll do is put the cover on the pot Make sure it comes to a boil. Then you'll turn it down and let it simmer for about half an hour or until the carrots are nice and soft. Once you get things nice and smooth, you can add some type of grain or nut milk. Coconut milk is the greatest. High fat content, but that's what makes it so nice and creamy. I don't have any today, I'm using some rice milk. It is not necessary to add any milk, it just makes things a little bit creamier. And I like to mix it with the blender as well, just because it's easy, it's already in there, and it makes sure things get really nice and mixed up. Reason I love to use a hand blender is because I just give it a twist, and this is all I have to clean up. There we go. Last touches, I'm going to add some chopped fresh mint. Beautiful flavor with the carrots, as well as some chopped fresh cilantro. Goes with the ground coriander that we have in here. Coriander is the seed, the dried seed of the cilantro plant. Stir that through. If you don't like cilantro, I'm not a huge fan. You could add more mint. You could add some purple basil, some green basil, that's lovely too. And last touch, a little bit of black pepper. If you like things spicy, you can also add some spice to this. Just a little dash of cayenne, and you'll have things nice and spiced up. Give it a taste, adjust the seasonings to whatever you like. This soup is great hot, as it is now, or you can chill it and have it as a nice cold summer soup. So I hope you enjoyed. You can find the recipe at healthyveganrecipes.net. I'm Heather, and this is Freshly Served.